Hey, good evening. It is Tuesday tea time with Dorarena, and I want to welcome all our first-time viewers and those that will be watching the replay. Thank you for those that have been supporting us. I appreciate it, and I'm very thankful for you. I just want you to know that. But we are presented from Women of Wisdom. We are a nonprofit organization here to empower, or well, first we're here to bridge the generational gap between the older and the younger generation, to pass on vital knowledge to one another and to empower with practical wisdom and confidence so that we can pass on wisdom to the next generation so that all generations will benefit. How about that? All right. So, um, I'm going to share my tea with you. Okay, guess what I did? I made homemade sweet tea, and I know some of you may be thinking, big deal. But I made mines with honey, and I got some other little things in there, and I got my little lemon in it. And so I hope that you have your cup with you and you have something that you enjoy drinking and that you fill your cup up with lots of wisdom tonight. As you can see, I got my silver butterfly cup. And so let's grow in wisdom. All right. Tea time. That's good. It's ice cold, but I wanted to put it in my favorite cup. Okay, so let's get right down to business. We are talking about tonight, our wisdom topic is surrendering. Okay, what's rolling around in your head when I say the word surrendering? Because you know what? Surrendering has two applications, okay? It has a positive and a negative application. So let's look at what I have here. Surrender is a powerful word with positive and negative implications. How we choose to surrender and what we choose to surrender can significantly alter our journey. Okay. So that statement right there is a mouthful and it is powerful within itself. So let's look at what the word surrender means so that we can get a deeper understanding. Yes, always good to go deeper than to just go on the surface. If you go by what's on the surface, you're going to miss the true meaning of things because things are not always as they appear. Okay. So you got to dig in. Okay. So surrender, according to Merriam Webster, to give over to the power, control, or possession of another, especially by force. Some of us can relate to that. Or to give oneself over to something. So I want to encourage you tonight to think about what you can surrender and what you should not surrender. And I know that there may be some of you on here, uh, like myself, that was forced to surrender some things and, had to go through that process of learning how to, I guess, kind of love yourself again or not feel guilty for how you were treating or making yourself feel like that you were the reason or you were the cause. Because there are some situations that are unfortunately forced upon us, and it's not based off of what we done. We just been around the wrong people, and you don't want to get, well, you don't want to be stuck in what that was like, and you have to surrender the anger, forgiveness, and whatever else would cause, you know, mental ailment, because sometimes some of those things are just a matter of holding on to stuff like anger and resentment and bitterness that causes, our mind to go tilt, because that's something that our mind is not supposed to carry for a lifetime, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so also I want you to understand that there's some things you don't have to give up. And if you feel like, you're being forced to give up, what you need to do is you need to set boundaries, and you need to communicate to uh, whoever it is that you need to communicate to, that, this is not me, and I'm not doing that, and sometimes you just got to bluntly say, I'm not doing that. And so I brought my, how back in the day when anybody surrendered, they would have like a white flag. So we're going to just pretend, use your imagination, that this is a white flag. So, there's some things you want to surrender to, and there's some things you should never surrender, because those things that you surrender that you shouldn't, a lot of times they'll cause you to become depressed because you're giving up something that you shouldn't give up. Okay, and we're going to touch a little bit on that in a little bit. So, I have a quote for you, and oh my goodness, this is a good one. Let's look at this quote. This is by Ash Alvis, and she said, let go of your attachment to which you think should have happened. Let's see, let go of your attachment to what you think should have happened. Surrender to what is and trust that you're being guided towards something more profound. Wow, I thought that was pretty good. And, just take a picture of it or whatever and just kind of meditate on that thought. Let go of your attachments. Those are things that are not doing you any good. These are things that you should surrender. You should give them up, because they are detrimental to your future and how you want to live life with peace. You can't have peace if you're holding on to some things. Some things you have to surrender. And okay, let's remove this. So I made this post. I want to share it with you, that I just posted it, but I made this earlier. It says, never compromise your standards or sacrifice your integrity. These qualities hold immense value and will yield significant lifetime benefits. So, You don't want to surrender your integrity for the sake of somebody else, to please somebody else. You don't want to lower your standards, compromise your standards, surrender the level of your standards to somebody else's just because you want to be liked by them, or you feel like they're forcing you to behave a certain way. If that's the case, more than likely you just need to cut that relationship off, because really a true friend or somebody that really cares about you, they're okay with you living based off of your own standards. They're not trying to get you to become who they want you to be and forcing you to give up things that, for their own comfort. Of course, there's times in a marriage or something like that that you should compromise to get along and have peace. And sometimes, you know, there's some things that don't have to be our way. And if we love people, we would compromise those things to show people that we love. Now, I'll give you an example of that, because I kind of been doing this little thing with the 5 love languages. And, physical touch is, like on the bottom of my list. And that's on the top of my list with my husband. So there's a lot of times that I, you know, he wants to hug, and I'm like, oh my God, not again. And I have to, surrender my way so that he would know that I love him. But yet at the same time, I still have to have boundaries and standards that says, okay, I still, this is a little bit too much. I mean, I can give so much, but this, is getting over the top. And so you bring that balance in that relationship. So that's okay. But you don't want to be feeling forced, like, to do something that's contrary to your standards, your level of living, and your integrity. You just don't compromise those things. You don't surrender those things to please other people. That's a absolute no, no. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you is surrender is an eternal process. Okay, do not allow unwarranted forces of life to shift or shape your standards and cause you to see things through an unwise scope. You have a knowing inside your heart. We were all birthed with a knowing, innate, to know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. And within yourself, you have that knowing that, okay, this, something's not right about this. And if you got a gut feeling that something's not right, more than likely something's not right. So you don't let people force you into something that's contrary to that knowing that you have on the inside. Follow the knowing on the inside, and always evaluate things or filter things through wisdom. And don't move too quick on anything, because usually if you move too quick, you're going to make the wrong decisions. Take that moment to say, okay, how am I? Check within yourself and see whether or not something's not right or right about that, and then proceed. But don't move too quick, and don't give up things. Don't surrender things that you should not be surrendering. Okay. So there's some things you should, there's some things you shouldn't, and make sure that whatever you decide to do, this is your decision, and you are not allowing other people to force you into doing something that you do not feel comfortable doing. And that in itself is not right. Okay, let's finish this up. Okay, establishing clear boundaries and ensuring our surrender is directed towards the right objectives is crucial. And I'm going to leave you with that. All right. So I hope that you have filled your cup up tonight with wisdom and that you apply these things, because remember, as I always say, knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is powerful. You can't get anything out of a lemon unless you squeeze it. All right. So always remember, Dorena loves you, and walk in wisdom. All right. You have a great night.